Hey guys, Jonathan Bonifar here. Usually I'll use the Inking Room videos to showcase whatever comics I'm working on at that point in time, or give tutorials on comics. But today, it's all about a piece of comic strip history that recently fell into my lap, quite literally. This is the first strip of Tom and Ed by Al Ryan. You can see it's pretty aged, kind of weather-worn. Yeah. Get a close-up view of it. Yeah, it's drawn much larger than you'd expect modern comics to be drawn. It's because this is not a modern comic. This piece of artwork right here was drawn in 1924. Yeah, this comic is almost 90 years old. You see, Al Ryan, the artist and author, was 16 years old when he drew these. He had been deaf since he was a child, but he was brilliant. He was a brilliant young mind. Even graduated high school at age 14. The comic, Tom and Ed, tells the story of two young American brothers who solve crimes and go on adventures together. It's a mix between the best elements of Dick Tracy and the Hardy Boys, which, interestingly enough, didn't exist when he wrote this. They came later in the late 20s, early 30s, so this predates both of those. After he drew these, he submitted them to all the major news syndicates across the country, and even took a trip in person to New York to pitch the idea to the editors there. They gave him good reviews, but they rejected him simply because he was so young. Which is kind of interesting, considering that someone that young nowadays, that would be a selling point of the comic, but yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so he gave up on his dream of being a syndicated cartoonist, but he never lost his love for the medium. When he passed away in 1983, his surviving family knew the story of how he had always wanted so badly to be in newspapers. And just recently now, in early 2012, they were going through his belongings, and they found a sealed box that contained these. They're a little water damaged from being kept in the attic for almost 90 years, but are still in surprisingly good condition. There are 21 total comics in the series that he drew, and this is what he submitted to syndicates at the moment, when he drew it. So, yes. Now, his surviving family members are longtime friends of my own family. I've actually known them my entire life. They came to me with the comics to ask for help in digitally restoring them, since, since you can see they're not exactly in the best shape. When I saw them, I practically lost my breath. I was kind of overwhelmed at it. And offered to take it one step further and publish the comics online in addition to cleaning them up and restoring them. So, yeah, I mean, why should you guys care about this? Why should you guys care about the project, the Tom and Ed project as it's becoming? Why is it important? Because this is something that is almost never seen in comic history books. I mean, if you look in the archives of comics, if you look in any history book of sequential art, you'll see that the comics that were accepted for publication, but that's it. All the ones that were born in the 1920s, Popeye, Little Orphan Annie, Felix the Cat, Barney Google, Snuffy Smith, Buck Rogers, Tarzan, they were all part of the golden age of newspaper syndication because some editor somewhere said yes when it was submitted. Thousands upon thousands of ideas at the time, and since then, hundreds of thousands of ideas that were probably just as, they may have been just as good, for all we know. We'll never know. They were denied from being included just because an editor said no. So to see an idea, a concept that was rejected and survive this long in such good condition, it's just a rare piece of comic history that no one ever gets to see. So, yes. Starting today, the site linked in the description below will be the official home of Tom and Ed. I'm going to keep the site in a blog-style format in order to share the process of scanning and cleaning up these comics. Eventually, they'll all be scanned in, cleaned up, and published online. And hopefully, this will bring the comics to the audience that they were denied almost a century ago. So thanks for watching, guys. Please share this video and the URL for the site on your blogs, your Facebook pages, or anywhere else, on Twitter. Just call attention to the project. You know, I think Al Ryan deserves it.